أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Today I am going to talk to you with a very part of the social science topic, that is our gut feeling or in our intuitions. What is our gut feeling and our intuitions? So when we talk about the gut feeling, the gut is basically the organ part of our body that is composed of the large intestines and small intestines, and this is our digestive systems where the food being digested and things being absorbed uh, through our blood systems and make a part of energy. So beside this all digestive system, we have in our gut millions of bacteria are going, and these bacteria are very important for our lives, and they are very productive in a sense of giving some chemicals released by their metabolites, and these metabolites through our blood stream goes to our brain system, where their stem cells being making engage in the producing the different neurons for the brains. When we see that our guts where the bacteria are going, and this total weight is equivalent to our brain's weight. So similarly we are seeing that whatever the total weight of the microbes being engaged in our intestines, and its weight is totally equivalent to our total weight of the brain system or the brain unit. So there is a close connection between our guts, bacteria, and the brain systems. So different metabolites and these chemicals being released by the bacteria move towards through our blood stream to brain, where the brains are getting engaged in forming the different more neurons for the brain unit systems. So either the fatty acid or tryptophan, the very important chemical being released by the bacteria, and these tryptophan and fatty acid being transferred to brain barrier and the blood systems, and they get engaged in increasing the positive hormones to be released, that like the serotonin, that is increasing the level of serotonin in our body blood brain system through. So this is very important in depleting the anxiety depression conditions in our body. So there is great connections between our guts and our brain system. So the healthy bacteria being engaged in our guts and getting engaged in the producing the chemicals like fatty acid and tryptophan and others productive chemicals being utilized by our brain system. So the brain is dependent on the guts and this chemical being released. When see that how the bacteria are being engaged. So in history, when the child is being getting birth, they have transformed bacteria from their mothers, and the child being feeded by the mother feed. These chemicals being transferred from their mother feed to the body of the child. So increasing these things and the bacterial growth in our guts make it possible to produce some positive metabolites of the bacteria that is being used by our brain systems for the generation of neurons by their stem cells. So, like other things, metabolites of the bacteria like tryptophan and fatty acid also being very very important for the brain to be increase the positive hormones within the brains and being effective in decreasing the phenomena of the anxiety, depressions, and other things like this. So when we think about the gut feeling is the basic, the subconscious mind decisions being taken by most of us in our daily life, and this gut feeling is irrespective of the figuring and calculative decisions that on the other side. So intuitions and the gut feeling is sometime or many times being practiced in our life, that we take some decision immediately on the basis of our guts and intuitions, where some critical decision being applied and appear in our life, that we have to take immediate decisions on the basis of not on calculative decision but on the basis of our guts and intuitions. What intuitions is force us to take decisions is sometimes very very effective, like in taking decisions of the two different types of job, which one is better than others, and getting started the business, which one is better than others, and taking any other decisions in our life of choosing of our life partners in our future careers. So intuitions is very helpful in some way to take decisions irrespective of calculations and fact and figures, but this is connected our gut, because gut is similarly working as our brain system, because the brain, whatever brain chemicals are being used by the production of the chemicals that is being generated our gut system microbacteria. So the productive microbes and microorganisms being living in our gut, they are productive in taking some chemicals being released. So this is not a very danger for our life. The bacteria, that is a very small microbes, that is very tiny microorganism, but they are some way is very productive for our lives, not engaging in our digestive system, but is connected to our brain, and what the brain decision or our gut decision being taking place, these bacteria taking their roles in making decisions in our life. So our intuition decision is connected with these bacteria. The tiny bacteria is very very interesting. How these tiny bacteria is involve our decision making things. So recently different proactive bacteria or the different types of psychotropic and psychobacteria being infiltrated in our body systems, and they are helpful in growing these bacteria in our intestines. So even there is some scientific reason that those we are getting childbirth, but by the cesarean or by the natural way, they have the different tendency of the growing the bacteria in their guts. So the probiotics or the psychoprobiotics are being the advancement in the recent medical science. These probiotics and some many biotics and psychobiotics being infused in our body system to produce a more productive bacteria in our gut system, and that could be helpful in by the way of the giving some releasing some metabolites that being utilized by our brain, so like the tryptophan, fatty acid, and some other serotonin, and different hormonal regulations being connected with the gut and our brain system. So these bacteria are not useful, not only the useful but productive in our making decisions. And the gut feeling, intuition feeling is one of the example of this thing. So gut feeling or the intuition feeling is very important, irrespective of their non-calculation based and database decision making in our daily life. So those who are very charged and very proactive in taking decisions by their intuitions and by their gut feeling decisions. So these are the examples of in our life. But in practice, everybody is in some way involved in gut feeling decisions in our lives, either to choosing some jobs, choosing the different business things, and choosing the life partner in our lives. So the gut feeling is a sense of intuitions being developed in our gut, that in some fearful conditions and some proactive actions, the intuition based decision being taken place in our lives, and we somewhere become safe and sound by this intuition. So intuition of the gut feeling is the decision being taken by our gut, not our brain system. That is the planned decision being taken by the brain. So I hopefully you will enjoy this topic, and we'll meet again inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.